Hey, man, it's Dukes and Bell. We're at you today, 2 o'clock, as we get ready to count in a new year and count down, should I say, to 2026. So we'll be off tomorrow, guys. Hawks actually have a game on 92.9 The Game, and then, of course, New Year's Day. But we are back at you on Friday. Last night, Monday Night Football. Fellas, we got a lot to talk about. We will today. We'll get a chance to talk with Dave Archer, the analyst for our Atlanta Falcons. Also, our buddy Sam Mitchell from NBA TV and obviously Sirius Satellite Radio and Coach of the Year. Sam Mitchell's going to join us.
Yeah.
Had some very controversial comments about Luka, but we will also talk to him about the Hawks and, of course, our buddy Connor Riley from Dog Nation as we get ready for the Dogs and Old Miss. While we're talking about the Hawks real quick before we get into the Falcons and Monday night, they lose again. I told you guys yesterday, we could be looking at a 10-game losing streak. Thunder, L last night. Now you're talking about the T-Wolves, then the Knicks, and then the Raptors back-to-back. I don't know how this is going to look, Mike, but real quick, and we'll address this more on the show today.
Right.
Another L last night. Now, no Trae Young and no Jalen Johnson last night.
Right. Now, again, that's one game that could be the outlier, but we've seen them not play perimeter defense, blow leads. And Quinn Snyder is now the guy that's in the crosshairs. A lot of Hawks fans were getting that on social media. You and I have talked about it on the show. Where's the fire? What's he doing behind the scenes to get things rolling? If I'm Anseh Saleh and I'm Tony Ressler, Quinn Snyder, you're on notice, man. You got to turn this thing around by the All-Star break, or there's going to be moves made. As I said, there's not exactly a long list of coaches, but again, there's always somebody. Malone, we talked about from the Nuggets, but Snyder's got to figure this out. And if you can't make Trae and this thing work, well, he's got to go. Somebody's got to go. It's going to be Snyder or Trae or both.
No doubt. We'll get your thoughts on this because I know you got a lot of stuff to say about the Hawks and being the NBA fan you are. We'll get into this today on the show, but we did want to mention they lost, and this is something we're watching, guys. The next couple of weeks is going to be very interesting for the Hawks to see how they maneuver. And then, to be quite honest with you, is Trae out? Like, is he not playing the next few weeks? And if so, what does that look like and what does that mean? And is he rebelling? I mean, I don't want to make, a statement that may or may not be true, but it just feels weird. He was healthy and playing, and then they lose 6 in a row, and then he's not playing last night, and apparently it's the same leg. All right, let's get into the
Did you see, he had a cryptic Instagram post yesterday that he posted, see you guys next year.
Okay, well.
I guess he's already proclaiming that you won't see him play anymore the rest of the season.
So here's the deal. You know how you don't accept blame? You don't play. That's how. And if that is true, if Trae is doing this and he now has been reevaluated and he's hurt and he can't finish the season, the way you don't accept blame is you don't play. He played, didn't play necessarily well, and then all of a sudden now you're saying this. I don't know what's true or what's not, but I feel you. All right, guys, we got to talk about the Falcons, man, because they did get a win last night. Yay! 27-24, Mike Bell.
Hey, man.
Last-second field goal.
We do not apologize for a win. As anytime these guys win, once they blew the division, you wind up as a Falcon fan with more questions than answers. So let's start with the great stuff. Bijan Robinson putting on a show on the national audience. It's funny, I mentioned Barry Sanders to him on our conversation last week, Carl, and that's what they were gushing about. Troy Aikman loves him, and why not? This guy is a one-man gang. To do it without Drake. Drake wasn't close to 100%. I think Cousins threw for less than 140 yards last night, and you still get a win. Defense all over the place. But then the special team screws up. The same thing we've been complaining about all season. Oren's got a point on that because we had some guys who were literally like petrified wood on that pass protection, or I should say on that field goal protection. Either way, Carl, it just shows you what we're capable of. So how do you lose to the Jets? How do you lose and get smoked to the Dolphins? How do you lose like we did to Carolina? Nothing changes for me about wanting a regime change after that win.
Yeah, and I said, for me, it matters. They win. I want to see how they finish because this feels good, but then you could blow it against the Saints, obviously, and play a terrible game, and this looks like it has in some of these other losses this season. Go ahead and make your point, man, about the field goal block and what that looked like from a protection standpoint.
Well, from a couple things. Number one, that field goal block, that left side of the line, Jared Verse hit a swim move on two guys who literally did not move. Javon Gwynn and Elijah Wilkinson didn't come out of their stances. Mike Johnson was on with us last week, and he talked about Keith Armstrong had a rule in special teams. If you're gonna get knocked down, fall slow. Get knocked down slow. Anything you can to impede the progress of a defender to where he doesn't move full speed to that line. And Jared Verse had no one in front of him that stopped him from going full speed. Like, it was embarrassing watching Elijah. And it almost happened too. Like, you just see like This side of the line they're shifting and moving down and trying to get bodies on people. And then you see Elijah and you see Javon just, do we need to move now? We need to move. Okay. And at that point, it was already too late. Jared had gone past him and gotten the block. What frustrates me about last night's win, I should say, guys, is that the Falcons are 4-1, 5-1 in primetime games.
Yeah.
4-1.
So in these moments when the lights are shining the brightest, or when the pressure is on the most, when you're trying to save your coach's job, you're performing at a level that we wanted to see all year long. But those 1:00 games against Carolina and Miami, those are the ones you struggled in. So when you not calling it mundane, but because every game matters in the NFL, but why is it that this team seems to want to perform when the pressure is on the most? Why is that? Like, I guess maybe that'd be great if you can kind of wrap that up with just doing the little things, winning those little ordinary games, I guess you want to call them, divisional games, other games, when they're not in prime time, when they're not on Sunday night, when they're not Thursday, when they're not Monday night, when there's not just you as the focus for the entirety of the NFL world right there.
I think what Orrin is saying, Carl, is, I think, Orrin, if I can cut you off, I think what Orrin is saying, Carl, is we need about 5 extra hours sleep. Back to you, Orrin.
Well, there you go. Yes, absolutely. It's frustrating watching this team go out and watching Bijan put up almost 2 bills last night and having the longest run of his career, one of the longest runs in primetime NFL history last night. And you see that and you go like, all right, where was that performance at a 1:00 game against Carolina? Where was that performance against Miami? Like, why wasn't this team up for those games right there? But when it's time for them to kind of put up or shut up, essentially, and the whole world's watching you, those are the moments when you perform.
It's a great point. And I don't know if they've got the answers. Maybe they do. I certainly don't. I would simply tell you that last night, even at the end, I was nervous.
Right.
I mean, 21 seconds, we kicked the field goal, and Matthew Stafford comes out, guys. He's 2 steps away from connecting down the field on 2 separate plays.
They missed the PI on that one, too, yeah.
That probably would have set them up at least for a game-tying field goal, but probably for a touchdown opportunity. So, to your point, I don't want to, make light of what Raheem says all the time about got to find a way, but there is something to that. And they found a way last night. In these other games that we're talking about, there are plenty of things that Mike has pointed out as to we were either out-coached, didn't execute, made stupid mistakes, but we also didn't find a way. We didn't make the play. Last night, that Zane Gonzalez field goal, you're kind of like, oh, crap, 51 yards. All right, bro. And he comes through big. You got it done. Dede, where are you at on this win last night? How do you feel? Does it change anything for you?
For me, it's frustrating to, I think we all can agree, it's frustrating to see them win these kind of games and have this kind of momentum to close out the season when nothing matters at this point in regards to getting to the postseason. And the reality of it is, if they win next week and beat the Saints, and then, if it ends up where them Bucks and the Panthers are all sitting at 8 and 9, you literally can pick any of probably 5 games that you can say that one win should have been our 9th win, and we should be the ones going to the playoffs. So,
the Carolina sweep is going to cost them. Yeah, the Carolina sweep is going to be the thing that costs them if Carolina ends up going to the playoffs next week.
Right. So it's frustrating in that sense to where they're that close to being the team to represent the division. But then at the same time, I look at it and I say, and I remember, I immediately thought, because Bijan, again, they talked about him all night last night. I immediately thought about his conversation with you guys last week. And when he said to you guys, look, regardless of where we're sitting now, we want to play hard the rest of the way and we want to win for Ra. And I just can't help but think and wonder and ask myself, what if this is something Arthur Blank is paying attention to? I know you guys made the comments offline about how, players wanted previous coaches in the past back, but I just still can't help but think and ask myself, okay, what if this is what Arthur Blank is paying attention to? What if he wants to see, okay, if you guys want this man back, show me why he should be back next year. And maybe that's what they're going out there to do, try to prove to him, like, look, we can play and we can win for Raheem Morris. And then once we get to Black Monday, I guess we'll find out whether or not they made enough of a statement to bring him back.
Did you guys? Did you guys see real quick, Mike?
Good,
did you see the post-game speech?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
And in the post-game speech, he says last night, at least the part that they posted, that we can play like this and we're going to show the world that we're capable of this very soon. And he makes this comment as if next season, like, you see how good we can be, and we're gonna show the world, soon enough. And then he goes into obviously the game ball stuff. I just found that interesting, and I'm not saying again that Rod's been told one way or the other, but that is the selling point to what Day is talking about, which is, hey, this is what we're capable of, and we screwed ourselves. Everybody knows it, but we're going to show the world, Mike. We're soon enough. We're coming, and we're going to let everybody know that this is what we're about.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, either he knows something we don't, or he's just trying to be as positive and just trying to project that he can get this job and keep it and do something great next year. He's not. If he was a rookie coach, I give him the third year. He's not a rookie coach. He's got years of experience. He's under 500 by a long shot for his career. He hired the wrong guys, cost us last season. His special teams were never got addressed. We've talked about the small details and the glaring mistakes have never been addressed on this team. So as we can feel great about a big dramatic win against a depleted Rams team, we don't apologize for wins on this show. It doesn't mean anything to me because this same kind of focus needed to come out of the gate. You mishandled your preseason. You probably should have had a meeting of the minds to say, I know we drafted Penix, but maybe he's not ready. Maybe Kirk Cousins gives us a better chance to win. They never, there's so many moving parts to this that I just don't think he has a handle on. So it feels great. I will not be prisoner of the moment on this. I still want a regime change. But if Arthur Blank and the consultants are swayed, maybe there is some positivity to Day-Day's point. But okay, who's your quarterback next year? And who's calling the plays? Zach Robinson back? Because now all of a sudden it's great. We're doing some great things. Where was it from week one? Where was it when you lost the season, the 5-game losing streak?
Kirk Cousins, guys, is 3-0. Won 3 games on the road. Might win a 4th here to finish the season. I mean, say what you want. Can we all agree there's been a little bit of a difference? Now, he didn't have to do much last night because B carried the load, right? B was unbelievable. But can we all agree, okay, even with a minimal performance last night, the defense playing the way they are, Cousins didn't make any mistakes. I mean, Matthew Stafford, guys, threw 3 picks last night. That killed them, right? That really hurt the Rams.
And how about Watts, by the way? You didn't mention Xavier Watts. And they talked about it. Remember, we always forget about Watts as the package deal with the Pierce trade with the Rams and that extra pick, Carl. What a night.
Yeah. No, man. Mike, I think you were out the week Day we had him on the show. And I said to you when you got back, I really like this kid. He's so humble. And the funny thing is, man, one of the things he said, guys, it's Dukes and Bell Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. It's our behind the curtain show. We're on the day at 2:00. We got a lot of stuff to chop up. College football, all this stuff with the Hawks and the Falcons. So make sure you're there. But one of the things he said was, I said, how you adjusting? And he said, man, it's kind of lonely. Day, you remember this? And he was like, going from college where you have this regiment of you need to be here, here, here. And it's a hard adjustment for college players and going to the pros. It just is. Here, 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 and here. Make sure you're here. Everything's laid out for you. Now you're an NFL player. He said, dude, I live alone. So when I leave the facility, am I studying film all day? What am I doing with my time? And it was interesting because I think as football fans, we realize sometimes these guys, they got a bunch of money and now you got a lot of time. And what are you doing if it's not organized for you? This is how guys get into trouble. And Xavier Watts just man, I'm a homebody. I really love the game. And it was just, he is going to be a great safety in this league. And Jesse even talked to us about it earlier in the year when he was talking about how much of a film rat he is and, just wanting to kind of mimic all the things that Jesse's done. We'll see, man. I love the safeties on this team. That's not an issue moving forward. We know some of the issues we've got to address. But where are you with this win? It's something we're going to be talking about today on the show and whether or not it really changes your mind moving forward. As Mike said, and I think a lot of people agree with you, dude, it does nothing for me. I'm glad we won. It does nothing. For me, I'm in the other side. I'm like, okay, now let's see how you finish. Because, again, you could turn right back around and lose 31-13 next week to Tyler Shook. And what's that feel like? What does that look like? Then how does the owner then what does the owner say? So it could easily look different next week unless you do this again and are able to come out and have another great performance.
But Troy Aikman last night and Joe Buck must said it 3 times, Oren and Day. I mean, how is a team this good not making the playoffs? Yeah. Coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching.
Yep. It is.
I mean,
And that's
Jay didn't listen to the stats
And-
earlier. We got the 2 rookie leaders in sacks this year, and Jalen
Yeah.
and James Pierce. Bijan is going to finish top
And
10,
Xavier.
top 10 season in scrimmage yards all time.
All
Xavier
time.
Watts leads the NFL rookies in interceptions. So there's so much of the good that's being balanced with so much of the bad right now to kind of counteract that.
Hate
Yeah.
to lose
And to your
Dorless last
point-
night, Carl. That's the one thing. Dorless' knee
Yeah.
injury.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
again,
Heartbroken
waiting for
watching
the
him leave the field.
evaluation,
Man.
but the way he reacted, it looked bad. And
Yeah.
that guy's been a rock
I will-
star.
And I'll say, I've been kind of feeling this way the last couple of weeks, though. But the way the defense has been playing, I know at one point there was a lot of talk about whether Terry Fontenot should be gone or not. I think Terry stays. I think this defense is saving his ass, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, again, his argument is I picked the players.
Right.
You haven't put them in position to win.
Yeah, I bought the
That's his
groceries for
argument.
y'all. Yeah, how you use them is what that's on y'all.
So-
But I bought you the groceries.
All
But
right, man.
the Pitts, again, we'll get into it because the Penix Cousins thing is still an albatross around his neck. Maybe to the consultants watching this thing.
All right, guys, we are on at 2:00. Make sure you're there. We're going to have a lot of fun today leading into our last show of 2025 as we'll be off the next few days and getting ready for the new year. Hope you guys join us, man. Thanks for being here, and we'll talk to you at 2:00.